What's going on, everybody? Your boy Knomad here on behalf of Illuminaughty.com. I'm here today with
Joe Madureira and Kevin Regami.
Okay. As y'all can see, we're here with the guys that created Battle Chasers. You know, look behind here, real nice. So Joe, tell them what you do.
I'm the creative director at Airship Syndicate. Before that, I worked in comics. You might know that. I don't know. And so I worked for Marvel for a lot of years. I did X-Men and Deadpool, all that stuff. And then I did this series called Battle Chasers. And I got 9 issues into it, and I moved into the game industry. So the story was never completed. But it's kind of cool because that comic was really inspired by a lot of the anime and RPGs, Japanese RPGs I played back then. And so now I'm making an RPG based on this comic that was based on that stuff. So it's like pretty cool. It all came full circle. And I'm doing some new comics too. So, you know, it's all, it's crazy that it's making a comeback like it is.
Okay, and Kevin, correct? You tell us what you do.
Yeah, I co-run a studio in Vancouver, Canada called Power Up Audio. So we're like guns for hire, working with the developers like Airship on sound effects and music and voiceover, that kind of thing. So we did like Darkest Dungeon and Crypt of the Necrodancer, just, like mostly indie, kind of like small agile teams.
All right, so for everybody to know, Battle Chasers is what type of game? You know, let them know, break it down real quick, you know.
So Battle Chasers is a pretty classic dungeon crawler. It has dungeon exploration that's kind of a top-down action similar to Diablo. The dungeons are randomly generated. There's 6 playable heroes. You can have 3 in your combat party at any time. And so a lot of it is really just centered around a town which has like NPCs and quest givers and merchants, and then you hit all the nearby dungeons and unlock, you know, the story. Get access to new heroes, new loot, and just sort of repeat. But throughout that, there is a story woven in. It's not a story-based RPG like you might expect from like Square or something like that. We don't have like 40 hours of cutscenes, but you know, really is centered around just adventuring and combat. And so the combat plays out in a turn-based style similar to a lot of the JRPGs from back in the day. Each hero has their own abilities. You get skill points to upgrade those abilities, and it's a lot of fun working or trying the dungeons on different difficulty settings, and then with different heroes in your party. There's a lot of replayability.
Okay. So, as far as making an RPG, were there any other options as far besides RPG or any type of other genre instead of RPG?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, the other kind of game that we love is like Metroidvania style, like side scroller, and so we were weighing that heavily, but just the guys that we had in our team, and for various other reasons, it felt like hitting with an RPG first was the way to go for us. You know, obviously Battle Chasers is about a group of heroes, so a party-based game that had, you know, featured multiple characters seemed like the best way for us to go. But you know, there's definitely a lot of other kind of games that we'd love to make down the road.
Okay, so this is definitely a single player game, not a party game, like I can control one person or somebody else can control another person at the same time?
Right, it's single player.
Okay, and would you say, Battle Chaser, how many hours could somebody just like give their life to for this?
I mean, honestly, because it's randomly generated, for instance, when you go into a dungeon the first time, it's pulling from 30 or 40 different room types, and it might generate just like a 5 or 6 room dungeon. So it'll take you a lot of like turns, like or repetition in that dungeon to see all the possible outcomes. And so we have 8 of those dungeons, and then we have about 12 that we call micro dungeons. It's like just like a one-time through mission. There's a boss. There's some kind of story associated with it. And when you find one of those, you just do it, get the loot reward. And you can't repeat those, so they're just like little treats. And there's a dozen of those. We have an arena. We have all kinds of stuff that I think people will devote a lot of hours to. So, I mean, you know, you probably could blast through it in like 15 hours, but you know, I won't be surprised if people spend 40 or 50 hours on it either.
Okay, so what systems is this coming out for? And I already know PC for sure. What are the minimum specs that they can, you know, run to play the game?
Oh man, on PC, Steam, obviously, I don't know like specifically what the specs are, but because we're not using a lot of the bells and whistles of like the latest gen technology. We kind of went old school with it. You know, it's like lower poly characters. They have hand painted textures just like back in the day. It's not using, we don't even have normal maps or any like dynamic lighting and stuff. So it runs on a pretty low spec very well. And, you know, then it's also coming out for Xbox One, PS4, Switch. Yeah.
Is this a physical or a digital download only?
We will have physical copies of all of them. So yeah, digital and physical.
Alright, so is there like for like pre-order? We can pre-order, of course. Is there like a special package going along with pre-order, like a certain type of book or something like that to go along with it?
You know, I don't know the specifics of it. I would definitely check. I mean, that's stuff that our publisher, THQ Nordic, sort of handles that. I think there are like a few, you know, pre-order exclusives, but I don't know what they are offhand. I have to look into it.
Alright, so offhand from Battle Chasers, you know, Dark Side 3 has been announced. Is any of your old artwork or anything still a part of that?
I don't know. You know, I mean, we're pretty good friends with Gunfire, and so I have been following the development of the game for a few months now, and so, you know, they had me reconcept Fury, and I did that, and time allowing, I would love to help out on, you know, whenever they need it, but there isn't any official, I'm not officially on the team or anything like that. I mean, if they wanted to use some of the old stuff, they certainly could, so, you know, who knows what's going to turn up in there.
Okay. So, pretty much, you answered all my questions. I appreciate it very much. Please let the people know when they can pick up Battle Chasers.
So we just announced a date. It's October 3rd for all platforms simultaneously, and so yeah, check it out, and let us know what you think.
Well, this has been Nomad on behalf of Joe Mad and Kevin, and I want y'all to make sure y'all stay enlightened.